Have you ever been scrolling on social media and saw some outfit inspiration, went in your closet, attempted to recreate it, and then just found that you didn't feel good, that you just looked frumpy? And sometimes it's not the pieces that are not working for us, it's the way that we're styling them. Especially as mature women over 40, some of these classic pieces that we really love can look a bit aged, dated, frumpy if they're not worn correctly. So today I'm going to give you some great tips for how to take those 5 classic pieces and wear them in a fresh and modern way so that you defrump your looks and feel chic and effortless. Starting with the first piece that is really trending right now, but is also a staple piece. It's a classic piece, and it's definitely something that can work for women over 40, and that is the midi or maxi skirt. These are really hot and they're so cute. I absolutely love them. However, when paired incorrectly, they definitely can fall into the frump zone. They can look super aged and dated and just all wrong. So I want to give you an example of that. Here I've taken this striped midi cotton skirt and I've paired it with just an oversized sweater. So these two pairings together, it's kind of like loose and baggy with loose and baggy, and my shape is just getting lost in this look. Also, the dark black color of this sweater is taking away from the light freshness and youthfulness of this skirt, which really should lean more into like a springtime look. And then when you add this chunky black sandal, it's just all kinds of wrong. And then of course a structured bag paired with something like a loose and flowy skirt, it's just not working. It's like I'm trying to make something more dressed up that really should be worn much more casually. And that's kind of a theme that you're going to see throughout this video. A lot of these items, because they are such classic pieces, they really look more fresh and modern when we wear them in a more relaxed way, in a more casual way. So I'm going to give you some examples of how we can do that and still use these pieces and love these pieces, but not frump our outfits. So I wanted to make this outfit look more fresh and vibrant and perfect for springtime, and also not frumpy. So I swapped out that sweater for instead a classic white button-up style shirt. I tied the shirt at the waist to add some waist definition to create shape to the body because the skirt is already loose and flowy, rolled up the sleeves, unbuttoned a few buttons to elongate the neckline, which also gives a more youthful look to the outfit. And here I added a little rattan sandal to keep it really light and casual, and a rattan tote bag. This is perfect for this springtime. You still get to enjoy that cute little midi skirt, but as you can see, it just looks much more spring appropriate and much less frumpy. And here's another option for this skirt. So here I paired it with a scoop neck fitted t-shirt, and I wanted to bring out the black in that stripe in the shirt, so I just tied a little black cardigan around my shoulders. And if you prefer a closed-toed shoe, a great option is something like this little woven Mary Jane style. So you don't have to do a sandal or a flip-flop if you're someone who prefers closed-toed, but I would definitely do something that's in a lighter color like a rattan, a tan, even a white would be cute, and something that's a little bit more modern like this woven style Mary Jane. Now another classic piece that we all have in our closet is a cardigan, and I love a v-neck style cardigan. I think cardigans are really beautiful. However, they're definitely something that can lean a little bit too elderly and frumpy if worn incorrectly. So here's an example of how I would not wear a cardigan. So of course, sometimes we like to use a cardigan as a layering piece. Here I've layered it, but I've layered it with a high neck style shirt underneath. So as you can see, I'm not really showing any skin on the neck, and it's really kind of cutting me off a bit and looking a little bit dated. I've got it all buttoned up, and I paired it with a pair of pants. These are actually like a linen blend kind of pant, but in this khaki color. They're a bit oversized, wide leg. Now individually, I love all of these pieces, but when you put them all together, it's really giving a very like formal and kind of frumpy look to it with this dark loafer, a dark bag, and it's just not really looking modern and fun. So I wanted to give you some better options of how to use this cardigan. So the most modern way to use a cardigan like this one is to actually wear it as your top. Now you can use it as a layering layering piece. If you prefer, you could put like a scoop neck tee or a scoop neck tank top under it. Something like that is fine. I prefer to wear it as my top. And if you find that the V-neck is a little bit lower than you would like, don't be afraid to use your little stitchy gun or a pin or even some fashion tape to put it in the place where you feel comfortable. So that's what I tend to do with almost all of my cardigans. I love my little stitchy. I'll try to remember to link that for you. If you haven't picked that up yet, I'm telling you, it's such a game changer because it really does allow you to wear your clothes the way that you feel most comfortable. So here I've got this cardigan on as my top, and I just paired it with a pair of linen cotton blend pants. These are a great pair of casual pants. I wanted to keep this more classic piece casual, so I left a few of the buttons open, but it's not really showing any skin. As you can see, it's just creating like a very loose and casual vibe to this look, which is a really modern way to wear a cardigan. And adding it with these linen blend pants is keeping it very spring friendly. It's not heavy, it's not stuffy. Now here I added a little rattan wedge sandal because these pants are a little bit longer on me, and a little tote bag to just keep the whole thing very lightweight, very fun, very modern, and not at all frumpy. I also love to pair cardigans like this with a great pair of shorts. So these are one of my favorite shorts currently. They are from Quince. They're a twill utility short. Really, really love these. I like the length on them, and I think a cardigan pairs really well with these. It kind of balances out that more classic piece, but also showing a little bit of skin at the bottom. I left the cardigan loose once again with some buttons undone. I just think it gives it a really fresh and modern feel. Added the little rattan tote bag as well as a cute little sandal, and this is a great way to wear this in the warmer months. And if you wanted to keep that cardigan a little bit more polished, maybe you have something where you need to be a little bit more dressed, a little bit less casual, you could do something like a beautiful white or ivory jean like these. This is a great little wide leg pair that I love. These are in like an ecru color, and I like to give it a little bit of a front tuck to create some shape to show off that waistline. The back is left loose, and here I did it with a closed-toed shoe, but I did it with a woven little Mary Jane, which is a very modern style shoe. So you could do something like a pointed toe flat with this. You could do a sandal with it. You could even do a little block heel or something if you really wanted to take it to the next level. And I added in some cognac in my shoe as well as in my slouchy bag, and I think that slouchy bag also helps to really give it that relaxed feel that definitely helps it to look more modern, more casual, and less frumpy. I love a great midi dress, and this one from Walmart has been one that I've really been enjoying. I actually picked it up in both the red and the blue color, and I think it's so beautiful. But it's definitely one of those dresses that can lean a bit frumpy if you're over 40. Here I'm styling it with a black cardigan over it and a black pair of Mary Janes. Now on their own, all of these pieces are great. I love a great black cardigan. I love this dress. I love these black Mary Janes. But when paired together, it's definitely giving me a frumpier look because I am a more mature woman. It's just not working together. First of all, I think by adding elements of black to this, it's a little bit too much. It's definitely taking away from that light spring feeling that this dress is giving me, and it's just kind of dragging it down. Now, I know that this is a common look and would really work if you're maybe working as like an elementary school teacher, maybe a choir director. I get it. I was an elementary school teacher, and I know that this is a look that I would have worn for sure. But I'm going to show you a way that I think you can still make it look a little bit more fresh while still keeping the elements of comfort that you're looking for. So the first way I would do it is just really simple. This would still work in a school environment, but take off the black and take off the black shoes, add a fresh shoe. So something that's more in a skin tone or a lighter color. Here I'm just doing it with a little woven like rattan shoe. I think that really works because it's very close to my skin color, and it's also like a more modern, fresh shoe, very spring and summer vibes. And doing it with a rattan bag also brings out those spring and summer vibes. Now, if you needed that cardigan to keep warm, because I know it can be really cold in the workplace, I would do something like an ivory, a white, or a cream colored cardigan. I was actually looking for mine, but I think it's in the washing machine. But if you really needed the warmth, you could could add a cardigan, but I would say add something in a lighter color. It's just going to keep it more fresh, more modern, and help you to not look frumpy. Now, how I would actually wear this with my very casual lifestyle is to unbutton just a button or two at the top, unbutton a few buttons at the bottom to create a little bit of a slit towards the bottom, not so high that you're risking showing anything, but just high enough to show a little bit of skin and also help to kind of give that effortless look to the dress, which really helps to keep you from looking stuffy and frumpy. And I would add something like a little sandal. So that could be anything from a rattan sandal to a little bow slip-on sandal, just a really casual slip-on type of shoe, and a big straw tote bag. This is how I wear this dress to run errands and do all the things. And I think by making something like this very casual and flowy, it also helps to make it look younger, more vibrant. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, just add something like this rattan wedge heel. I think this adds a little bit of like a sexy vibe to it, definitely elevates it a little bit if you want something a little bit dressier. And if you want even more, add a little rattan belt to it. This gives you some waist definition. It still keeps it light and airy for springtime, but it's going to give you that waistline, and I think this is really flattering as well. Okay, another classic piece that probably everyone has in their closet, and one that I love, is a striped button-up style shirt. So this is one from Quince that I really love. I actually have this shirt in a couple of different colors and prints. This striped one is beautiful, and I think it's a great shirt. However, it is a classic piece that when worn incorrectly, it can look a little bit frumpy, a little bit boring. So this first look I'm going to show you, I wouldn't really call this frumpy. I would say it's a little bit more boring. There's nothing terrible about it. I don't think anyone is going to, hate it when they see it on screen. And if you wear it, there's nothing wrong with it. However, it does feel a little bit stuffy, a little bit boring, a little bit dated, and I think we could have a lot more fun with this. So in this first look, I'm just wearing a straight leg style jean and a traditional loafer with a structured bag. Again, these pieces on their own, I love all of them. These jeans are modern, they're very pretty. Sorry, I have a little hair in my face that's driving me crazy. However, when tucked in this way, it just feels a little bit boring. It's just not very interesting at all, and I think we can have a lot more fun with a shirt like this. So here I just decided to add a really modern jean like this barrel jean. These are a great pair, especially if you're petite, because they come in some shorter lengths. I really love this, and to add emphasis to the waist, I kept the shirt tucked in, opened up a few of the buttons, rolled up the sleeves to make it look more fun, more youthful, more modern. Here I added a little slip-on block heel sandal that I think is really beautiful in like a brownish cognac shade, and a slouchy cognac suede bag. So just those little changes I think make this look a lot more fun, a lot more vibrant, a lot more interesting. But if you want to go even more casual with this shirt, it really pairs very well with a great pair of cotton or linen pants. So here I have a more trouser-like linen blend pant. I love this pair from Amazon. They're so cute. And you could do so many things with this combination. So I threw on those little rattan wedge sandals to give myself a little bit of height. But with the shirt, you can wear it in a variety of ways. So you could do something like one side tucked in, one side tucked out. That's a really fun and modern look to it. You could also do all of it untucked with some of the buttons undone. Here I literally just have one button buttoned, but as you can see, it's not open, it's not showing anything. It's just giving a very like undone, relaxed, modern look to the shirt. Or you could give it a front tuck if you want to show a little bit of waistline. That's a great option. Or even tie it into a knot. All of these really work. It's just pairing it together and kind of experimenting with it. How do you like it paired together? But by pairing this classic cotton top with something like a white linen pant, you're keeping it really light for spring. You're keeping it really modern and fresh, and it just gives a more fun and youthful modern look to it. And what is more classic than a black trouser pant? So this is a pair I've had forever from Amazon. These are something that I often would think of as like a work pant or a dressy pant, and they are really good for those purposes. But you can actually wear these trousers in really casual ways that's really going to be fun and interesting. Here I have it paired with like a traditional like silky style button up blouse. I love these pieces on their own, and I've got a ballerina flat, love those as well. But when you put these three classic pieces together, honestly, it looks kind of boring and a little bit frumpy. I mean, if you're working in an office or even in certain restaurants, this might really work, and it's not the worst look in the world. But for day to day, I think we can do a lot better, and I think we can make it a lot more fresh and interesting. So here I went ultra casual with these trousers by putting them with a little high neck ribbed cropped tank top in white. You could do a regular tank top if you prefer to tuck it in. This one is cropped right to the waist, which really works with this high waisted style pant. And to add some interest and some color to the look, I tied over it my lightweight little cotton cardigan from Quince. I wanted to bring out that pink to wear with my little Dior book tote. So you could do any kind of like tote bag with this, would be really fun. You could do a t-shirt instead of a tank top if you want a little bit of arm coverage. And I did just a plain black flip-flop from Amazon to keep it really casual. This is the perfect like wear anywhere casual spring outfit. And for another great casual look, I took that white button-up shirt, put it on, opened up some buttons, rolled up the sleeves, tied it in a knot in the waist, added a rattan sandal and a rattan bag. This one is really fun from Amazon. It has a little black writing on it that says Paris that really works with those black trousers. And this is just a cool, easy, effortless look that I think is a great way to wear your black pants in a more modern and fun way and to keep them from looking frumpy. Okay, ladies, I hope you enjoyed these tips and really found them helpful. And I'm not saying that the before pictures are terrible. I understand that there are times when we need to look a little bit more buttoned up and polished and professional, and those very casual looks might not work in certain environments, but this is just another way to get some use out of those classic pieces going into spring and summer to maybe make them work for you in your casual lifestyle in your day-to-day and really add some freshness and chic, effortless looks to your wardrobe. So I hope you enjoyed it. Everything will be linked down below in that description box as well as pinned to the first comment. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, I really hope you'll do that. It definitely helps me out and it's free to you. I enjoyed having you. Thanks for sticking with me till the end, and I hope you guys have a great week.